Well, hello everyone. Bill here from the Attentive Traveler. Welcome to episode number 3, Lake Como and Varenna. In this episode, I'll talk about connecting the dots, our choices on travel from Milan to Lake Como, as well as getting to our hotel. We'll then dive into how we decided what to see, where to lay our heads, and what to eat. We'll also discuss tours and whether we chose any guides. Commune with nature, where Italy is joined to the Alps in the lovely Italian Lakes District. In this land of lakes, the €1,000,000 question is, which one? And for the best mix of accessibility, scenery, and offbeatness, St. Rick suggests Lake Como as his choice, and he suggests staying in the village of Varenna. The town of Bellagio on the same lake is a good second choice. Either place, you'll get a complete dose of Italian lakes wonder and aristocratic old days romance. Lake Como, Lago di Como, is lined with elegant 19th century villas, crowned by snow-capped mountains and busy with ferries and hydrofoils and slow passenger-only boats. It is reputed to be a good place to take a break from the intensity and the turnstile culture of most of central Italy. It is said that half the travelers you'll meet here have tossed their itineraries into the lake, and they're actually relaxing. Lake Como is Milan's quick getaway, and the sleepy mid-lake village of Varenna is supposedly the handiest base of operations. It has good connections to the other mid-lake towns and to Milan, making it a highly suggested home base while exploring the lake. Varenna is said to have the village vibe, and Bellagio has earned its ritzy allure and reputation and is said to feel a bit more like a resort. Now, you could see this entire area in one day. You could day trip it in from Milan, which is about an hour away by train. But for us, the lake suggests an ideal place to slow down and to take a break. So we're going to settle in here and leave bustling Milan behind us. But if relaxation is not on your agenda, Lake Como should not be either. Now, as we'll see in a few slides, there is no real essential must-sees here. But it is still suggested that you plan for at least 2 nights so you can have an uninterrupted day to see how slow you can get your pulse. So we plan to spend some time exploring our home base of Varenna, and we're also going to take a ferry tour to enjoy the scenery, visit a villa or two, and hop off the ferry to poke around the towns that we're not staying in. A train is the most common way to get to Varenna, and from Milan, it's about an hour. From the Milano Centrale train station, catch a train heading for Sondrio or Tirano. All Sondrio-bound trains, they all stop in Varenna. Trains leave Milan nearly hourly at about 20 minutes past, and you can get a second-class ticket here, since most of the trains don't even offer first-class cars. Rick suggests sitting on the left-hand side from Milan to Varenna for maximum lake view beauty. Now, we have decided to hire the same driver that has taken us from the airport into Milan to drive us the 1 hour to Varenna. Again, it's a lot more expensive. Train tickets can be had for a bit over $20 or €20 a person. The car is going to run us a bit north of $250. But it'll save us the cab from the hotel to the train station and lugging our luggage through the whole area, and then from the train station at Varenna to our hotel. This will be door to door. Does not even come close to covering everything, but we should be more relaxed and comfortable. And isn't that what Lake Como is all about anyway? So once you arrive in Varenna, how do you get from the train station to your hotel? Well, if you travel light, you can probably roll your bag or carry it for the 15 minutes that it takes to get from the train station into Varenna itself. Or you can hail a taxi. Now, Rick Steves suggests that you use the reliable Marco Barilli or his wife Nellie. It'll cost you about €10. You can email him at taxi.varenna, Varenna, at tiscali.it. That's tiscali.it. Now we're going to roll right by this all with our driver who's going to take us straight to our hotel. Now once in Varenna, you can get around the lakes by boat or by car. Now boats, ferries go about every 30 to 45 minutes between Varenna and Bellagio. It costs about €4.60 per person. You have to use only cash here, no credit cards or anything else. There are express boats that you can take that cost a little bit more, and they may save a few minutes per leg. Now, because the boats are frequent, and the schedule is actually, according to Rick, a little hard to read, I guess we just show up, we buy a ticket for the next boat, and we wait. So always ask with this which slip, or the pontile, I guess it's called, your boat will leave from. If it's not posted and it's going to Bellagio, it has several docks. There is a one-day €15 mid-lake pass, which makes sense if you plan to take 4 or more rides. Now, with scarce parking and traffic jams and expensive car ferries, I don't think Lake Como is a place to drive at all. Now, while it's possible to drive all the way around the lake, it is said to not be a real scenic route. The road is narrow, it's congested, and it's lined with privacy-seeking walls and hedges and tall fences. So if you do have a car, it's suggested that you park it in Varenna's big underground garage and use the boats to get around instead. Now, Rick Steves says that reservations are tight in August. They're snug May through October and wide open for most of the rest of the year. But remember, many places close in the winter. So I've gone with the high season prices, but lower prices could probably be had at other times of the year. Now, since it's a relatively small village, there is no main neighborhoods for the hotels listed. The main attraction is, of course, the lake. So out of the list you can see here of suggested hotels from Rick Steves, we chose the Hotel du Lac, which fills a refined and modernized 19th century villa. It appears very classy and very dignified, and from its exclusive private perch on the point, it offers a quiet lakefront breakfast terrace, a bunch of genteel public spaces. It promises a friendly professional staff and has 16 delightful rooms. All but 3 of them have lake views, and all of them have air conditioning. Now, we picked up 2 nights at a bit more than €300 per night. Now, here's a list of the restaurants that Rick and Lonely Planet suggest in the area, and you see I've separated them again into cafe, bars, and restaurants eating well. Now, Lavarello, which is a lake whitefish, is expected to be popular on all the menus. For something a little more adventurous, consider Misoltino, which is little salted fish, often served with pasta or local-style polenta. Buckwheat is mixed in with the corn. Pizzochere is a regional pasta dish made with buckwheat noodles, boiled potatoes, greens, and lots of melty cheese. I guess it's a carb lover's dream. Now, for our 2 nights in Varenna, we have only reservations set for the first night, and I chose Ristorante Il Cavatappi. Now, St. Rick says that they serve honest, unpretentious, yet beautifully presented dishes that are grounded in classic Italian cuisine. It's a classy little place. It's on a quiet lane with only 7 tables, so the cook and the waiter team can connect personally with the diners. It is said to be both elegant and intimate, with tight and convivial seating under a single vault, and it has 3 tables outside on the stony lane. Now for our second night, we're really not sure where we're going to be during our tour of Lake Como. So we'll find something in one of the cities we're in, or else we'll come back to Varenna and eat in Varenna. So if we're back in Varenna, I'd love to try the Osteria Quattro Pas. It is said to be a welcoming bistro, that it's known for its homemade pasta, its lake fish, and meat. It offers 18 candlelit tables under picturesque vaults, plus sidewalk seating. Its reputation as a fun place lets you know that it's a popular spot. Now, wrapping up our look at the Lake Como area and Varenna, I wanted to mention a couple of honorable mention activities and tours. First off, you can rent your own boat on Lake Como. You can get them often with like a little 40 horsepower engine. You don't need a license. It's not really realistic you're going to stop anywhere. So you can just go out and kind of putter around the middle lake area, trying mostly to stay out of the way of the ferries. And that sounds like fun. You can also hire a private taxi boat that takes you and that special someone out on romantic private tours. Now, there is a tour company called Lake Como Food Tours that's run by Laura and Alina, and it has a selection of guided activities. If you're looking for well-organized and a very experiential day, St. Rick suggests the Central Lake Boat, Food, and Villas Tour. They're going to take you up to an old mill for an olive oil tasting. They'll take you on a guided walk through Varenna with an included lunch. They'll hop in a boat for an hour-long tour of the lake, and you'll see Villa Balbianello with a local guide. And then you're going to finish in Bellagio for a walk through the botanical gardens at Villa Melzi. Their website, if you want to go take a look, is www, and then one string, lakecomofoodtours.com. So lakecomofoodtours.com. Now lastly, Chef Moreno of the recommended Ristorante El Caminetto can pick you up in Varenna. He'll zip you 10 minutes up into the mountains to his restaurant, and there he teaches you some basic Italian cooking. Gathered around a big table with a dozen or so other English-speaking travelers, you'll be taught and you'll learn how to make fresh pasta and prep regional specialties. Classes cover 3 recipes, and the whole thing lasts about 3 hours. I mean, all of those sound wonderful. I really wish I had more than 2 days. Well, that wraps up our planning episode for our second stop of our Italian adventure, Lake Como. I hope you've enjoyed this and found it informative and interesting, because if you're like me, and the planning of a trip is almost as much fun as going on it, if you're like that, make sure you tune in for all of our episodes. So until next time, when we'll travel to Venice for 3 days and nights of adventure in one of the most romantic cities in the world, be well and take care.